Arnold, Missouri, the largest city in Jefferson County, is an AARP and World Health Organization age-friendly city and a National Purple Heart City that's been visited more than once by sitting U.S. presidents and vice presidents. With one of the finest school districts in the state and diverse opportunities to live, work, and play for a lifetime. Arnold celebrates 50 years. The story of Arnold is rich with the adventuresome spirit, courage, and grit of the hardy European immigrants who settled this area as early as the late 1700s.
My great-grandfather was Wilhelm Flam, who came to the United States and landed in New Orleans, Louisiana. He came up the Mississippi River to this particular area where we are right now, here in Arnold. And while he was here, he fell in love, married Elizabeth Gamache, who was the great-granddaughter of Jean-Baptiste Gamache, who started the ferry across the Merrimack River.
These pioneers built homes and families near the confluence of the Merrimack and Mississippi riverbanks, giving them access to water, railroad, and land routes for delivery of their farm produce and other products to nearby markets. Entrepreneurs also grew new businesses, including mills, mines, dairies, general stores, hotels, and eventually auto dealers, gas stations, and other services.
My dad and my grandfather in 1937 started the Flam City Fruit Farm. My grandfather and my great uncle were instrumental in lending money to Mr. Ziegler to build his store. And he needed to have a name for the particular area, so he named it after my grandfather and my great uncle. In 1937, when the Merrimack River Bridge was built, see, that opened up commerce in between Jefferson County and St. Louis County. See, it was just a dirt road at that time that ended at the river. So he decided that this would be a great place to put a grocery store. So he came in contact with my grandfather and my great uncle and he borrowed money from them to build his store, and like I said, he named the area after the Flam family.
As the years unfolded, 6 small settlements were established in northeastern Jefferson County: Flam City, Maxville, Beck, Tenbrook, Wicks, and Old Town Arnold. Subdivisions were built, and the area's population steadily increased. When Interstate 55 opened in the late 1960s, residents gained quick and easy access to the city of St. Louis, with its many cultural, healthcare, and entertainment benefits. As a result, area residents began to see the many advantages that incorporating their settlements into one unified city could offer them. Their vision became reality when, on November 30th, 1971, almost 4,000 area residents decided their future at the ballot box. By a slim 6-vote margin, residents chose to move forward together, and on September 14th, 1972, the city of Arnold, Missouri was born. The first priority for new Mayor Ferd B. Lang Jr. and the City Council was safety, so they set to work and established the City of Arnold Police Department within 8 weeks of incorporation.
So one of the things about the history of Arnold is when the police department first started, there was like 3 or 4 officers, and they had no radio system. So they would patrol the streets. The city was split in half, 1 officer on one side, 1 officer on the other side. Well, they had no radios, so they would have to go by the local mechanic shop, Brooke Ziegler's, and the phone calls for police service would come into the mechanic shop, and then he would hoist a shop flag up the flagpole, and then when the officers drove by, they knew they had a call, and then they would come into the station and get the call and then go answer the call.
Since then, the positive results of the efforts of Arnold's dedicated civic, business, and faith leaders are easy to see, as the city has continued to grow through the years with residential, commercial, and retail development.
Being a business owner in the city of Arnold has been incredible. It's always been a dream. You know, ever since I was a kid, going through Fox and seeing guys like Wes and all the inspirational businessmen that have used Arnold as a as a resource to get to where they want to go. And to finally get into a position to be able to do that has just been overwhelmingly incredible. As soon as we got to work, it was just such a warm and an incredible reaction and such a warm reception. And it was really just an emotional experience for us. My wife and I purchasing the business from the Griffith and Jones family and the Moores and the Sophias and everybody who was involved in this business since 1988 has just been an absolute dream come true. But then to have the relationships with the community and with the loyal customers and the staff, and for people to be able to come in here and depend on us is just one of the most rewarding things that I'll ever feel in my life.
It moves forward. It doesn't just stop growing. When I started here, there was open fields, and those are nice, but when it comes to a city and functioning as a city and growing, you have to move forward. Where the new shopping centers are in town, even where City Hall's sitting, when I started here was a field. But the city fathers have always looked forward and what can we do to make the city better for our residents and our employees.
My father, Eugene Kneff, and his partner, Leroy Kemp, which started the business in 71, they mortgaged everything they had, just to get enough money and buy a piece of ground and buy a metal building, and had friends and family help them put it up and install it. But once I got into junior high, he worked it out where I'd ride a different bus on the way home, and it would drop me off right in front of our shop at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'd work sweeping up, cleaning things up, and doing stuff till 6 o'clock, and then I'd ride home with him. Working in the family business, it's the only job I've ever had. Went to work with my father. In 2015, my father retired, and so I've been in charge of running the company to this point. We were here a year before the city incorporated in 1972. We're very proud of that, very proud of being community neighbors.
Yeah, we think Arnold it's a great place to have a business. It's a great place to live. A lot of good people in Arnold, and we've worked with city councils and over the years, and they're fair, and they've been very good to work with. And any business would do well if they locate in Arnold.
There's nothing that you can't ask for. You're so close to all the things that you need, even older people. You're close to the hospitals. You're close to the shopping centers. You can do whatever you want right here in the city. You don't have to leave.
Way back when you had all these small schools, people got together and created the Fox C6 school district, consolidated of 6 different schools. And Fox was the main campus. My grandpa Martin A. Mall and a couple of his buddies, happens to be my family members too, the Flams, created the bus service that Fox still uses to this day. It's one of the largest fleets, if not the largest fleet of buses independently owned by a school district in the state of Missouri.
The resolve of city leaders also has been highlighted by their ongoing commitment to enhance the health, happiness, and safety of all residents, businesses, and visitors in Arnold.
One of the tremendous things that the City of Arnold really put together was the recreational building. It serves the kids, it serves the senior citizens. They can do whatever they want. The seniors can walk the tracks. The kids can swim inside the pool. The kids go on the outside, and they can use the big pool out there. And one of the real neat things that they do at the end of the year, they have it to where you can bring your dog to the pool outside. And you ought to see that. That is so tremendous to see all those people bring them pooches out there. It is really great.
The Arnold Police Department is paramount in the success of Arnold, Missouri, keeping us safe. We have a lot of back roads. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. And I'm proud to drive by the Arnold Police Department off Jeffco and look at it, how nice it is, and they're doing their job. We need safety. Small town America, Arnold, Missouri, keep us safe. And that's why we all want to live here.
We probably have one of the best police force you could ask for. When we got Arnold City Police, I'm telling you what, they're in a heartbeat for you. So I mean, it's just make that call and they're there.
I think that we have one of the finest city councils in the history of our city. The most dedicated folks I've ever had a great opportunity to work with. These folks care about our city. They're doing everything possible to help promote our city in every way possible.
Significant events have also been a powerful force in shaping the city's progress through the years.
The most significant event in Arnold had to be when the founding fathers at the time incorporated Arnold into the city. But at that time, I believe it just automatically made for better businesses, made Arnold safer, improved roads and parks in the area. We're one of the driving cities of Jefferson County. We probably have the most shopping, and we are probably one of the first cities coming into Jefferson County that people will shop at and stop at.
I think people wanted to come to Arnold because they had a wonderful school system that they could bring their children and get them into good schools. And through the years now, we actually have a junior college, and we've surpassed that now where you can actually get a four-year degree here at Arnold.
The infrastructure improvements that we made to the access, Arnold Commons and Arnold Crossroads never could have happened. So without the rebuilding of the Jeffco Bridge and the Telegraph Bridge, elevating them out of the floodplains, I don't think that Arnold Crossroads and Arnold Commons could have happened. So that actually this sort of building from the basement up is what we did, which is the right way to construct a house. It's the right way to construct a community.
When you go back and look at pictures, we've got old pictures from back in the day on how the road systems improved and what it used to look like, just country roads, and now we got 5-lane roads, through the city. The progress is a pretty big deal, in this short amount of time, actually.
President Clinton was here in 1993, and President Obama was here on the 100th day of his first administration. Those were quite significant events for the city of Arnold. And I got a telephone call from a college friend of mine while he was on saying, "Boy, your hometown is really getting to be quite famous, isn't it?"
When the torch came through town and we were part of that whole, patriotic national event, I'll always remember that. There's a few other ones. Arnold's get some cool events and cool experiences, but that one was, some of them just stop us all in our tracks, and I think that one really did. So the torch run for me, that was probably the best.
But Arnold's story is also one of neighbors helping neighbors. More than once, a disaster has challenged Arnold's livelihood, but the resiliency of its people met these challenges with courage, sensitivity, determination, and generosity, strengthening the bonds that will keep the small town spirit of Arnold alive and well for generations to come.
I think one of the most significant events in Arnold's history was the major flooding that occurred in the 90s. The city for decades has worked with FEMA in a pioneering effort to buy out homes that are threatened by flooding. Arnold Park used to be all houses. It is now a beautiful park that we can all enjoy. So while the flooding certainly was a very negative event that happened to our community, we were able to respond to it, pull together, and we've made some good things out of it.
I think one of the most significant events in Arnold in my lifetime has been the 2015 Christmas flood, New Year flood. That is what inspired me to get involved in city politics. It hit my area the hardest, and I was down there every day helping the residents of our community. And I really saw our community come together and everybody work together, and that was a true meaning of community to me, and it inspired me just to get more involved in our community.
I think that's part of what makes a community, is that everybody's looking out for each other because they care. If they don't care about you directly, they care about somebody who you know or who you're related to.
One of the great examples of this community coming forward is in 2017, we had an officer shot. This community stepped up. This community organized fundraisers, they organized charity events to help this family get through this tragic event. We had an outpouring of support, an outpouring of financial help, and just an outpouring of love towards this officer in our police department. And those are the things that make Arnold what Arnold is.
Together, Arnold's families have built this city and like what it offers.
It's just really stands out as a premier city in the county. So not only are there so many things that it offers to the surrounding communities that helps the tax base, which I love, but if you raise your kids in Arnold, you know you're raising it in a tight-knit, safe, and just really friendly community.
Just growing up here, you feel like you're a part of it, been involved in different civic organizations and stuff like that over the years, and feels like you can make a difference in a town like this.
It was my playground. Down in the bottoms near Taser Woods, Flam City along the Pommy, riding bicycle just about everywhere. And you can always find solitude or lose yourself in Arnold.
I want to mention the farmers market because it has had such a profound effect upon our community. We're getting anywhere from 300 to 500 people every Saturday morning that's coming down and visiting and buying fresh produce, even fresh beets. And so we're really happy the way it's growing, and we're continually working to make it a great place. It's become a destination point for people. I'm seeing a lot of new people, younger people, but I'm also seeing a lot of folks that just come there to sit back and enjoy and drink a coffee and socialize with people.
The City of Arnold is a great community. It's got big town features, but it's still got that small town feel. When things happen here, the town gets together and sticks together, and you don't see that a lot anymore in this day and age. But it's just a great little community that really sticks together and is proud of its community.
The water tower is still the water tower, although it's a different color, but it's got really nice restaurants. Whether I'm going to detours down by Seckman or to the local house up off Jeffco, our hometown restaurants are still here. It's just really nice.
Arnold's character has always embraced strong family values and forward-thinking ideas. As a result, Arnold looks toward an even brighter future.
I think we're heading in the right direction, and we've got a lot of things happening on the horizon, and I see Arnold as just a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to raise your children and work here if you want to work here. We've got it all right here in Arnold.
My hope for Arnold is we just keep moving forward, going down the same path and improving like we have over the last 50 years.
My hopes and dreams for the City of Arnold is that families who started Arnold can carry it on as a family, that they're born here, they're raised here, maybe they work here, that they stay here, they play here.
I would like to see Arnold keep moving forward. Be progressive with its building of the city, be progressive with its police department, its public works department. Not only do we have one of the best police departments, the other departments in this community are amazing. We have the public works department that when it snows, our streets are cleared. Everyone in the city works hard, and I hope the city keeps moving in the direction it's been moving for the last 30 years. If it does, it's going to keep thriving, and it's going to be a great place to live and raise your families.
If you look and think about the future of Arnold, we need more younger people coming up, stepping up, be board members, be in a couple years, maybe might run for mayor in a couple years. But I'm just saying there's tons of stuff to do out there. And this makes your community a better place to live.
I hope Arnold continues in the direction that it has been in its entire 50-year history, and that is to continue to improve the community, the safety, the security, and the economics for its residents.
The city's got everything that you need, everything that you want. It continues to be a very safe place to live and raise a family. And I think all of that's going to continue and just get better.
We dedicate our 50th anniversary to all the families, businesses, and faith and civic organizations that have made our community what it is today and who will shape its future.
I wanted to move back to Arnold, Missouri because it's home.
It is a great place to live. It is important to me, and it has been a true honor serving the City of Arnold, and I look forward to continuing to work for this great city.
Go live in a big city and try and make a difference. It's very difficult. But in Arnold, you get up close and personal with the problems, and then you can get up close and personal with the people who have the resources to fix those problems. And that's what it's all about.
We feel like everybody ought to move to Arnold because we have so much to offer. We have the 4th of July fireworks displays, and people come together to celebrate. We got the Veterans Parade. We do the Arnold Days itself, which is 3 days of activities amongst our folks. Arnold just got it all, if you think about it. We've got the rec center, we got the indoor swimming, we got the outdoor swimming. We got a little bit of something for everybody, both young and old.
Happy 50th anniversary, Arnold.